As tragic events such as the recent school shooting in Parkland, Florida become an increasingly common occurrence, a multi-jurisdictional task force has been assembled in the Keweenaw Peninsula, and that team has been educating members of the community on how to be best prepared for an active shooter situation.
Well, we actually started training law enforcement around here about 8 years ago, and obviously part of this puzzle involves schools, civilians, businesses, different places.
That training has branched off into other areas of our society. Schools are installing more sophisticated security systems and locking doors, and businesses are also buttoning up loose ends with the goal that if something were to go wrong, casualty prevention is top priority. In addition to telling local businesses about steps they can take, the task force is going above and beyond by offering site inspections and suggestions on an individual basis.
What we initially started off was to set up a program to teach schools how they would respond in the worst case scenario with an active shooter. We have hit on all the schools. We've been able to educate the hospitals and some of the local churches. And if somebody wants a site view, we could certainly, if you wanted to contact the Houghton Police Department, if you were in the city of Houghton, or the Michigan State Police, Matt Jerf, or Charlie Klein with the Houghton County Sheriff's Department, we could go there and do a site analysis and say, hey, these are a few things that we would change if just in a worst case situation where you could keep yourself safe if there was an event where you had somebody out there committing violence.
Trooper Jerf says that a big part of preventing these situations is awareness and paying attention to the warning signs. The one thing that every school shooting has in common since Columbine nearly 20 years ago is that all of the involved parties, including victims, responders, and even the attackers, have all been members of the local community where the events have taken place.
Most of the time in an active violence event, when you go back and look at some of the behaviors that the suspect was displaying prior to the event, most of the time there are some red flags or warning signs that people have picked up on and either chose to ignore or decided not to tell anyone about for whatever reason.
The team will continue its outreach education this week with hands-on demonstrations taking place at local campuses, including Finlandia University tomorrow and Hancock Public Schools later in the week. I'm Lee Snitz for ABC 10 and the CW5.
Fight for your life.